All right, let's dive in. Today, we're talking about the digital brain of a modern factory. It's this incredible piece of software that acts like the central nervous system, connecting the big, high-level plans with what's actually happening right there on the production floor. So, to really get what problem this tech is trying to solve, let's start with something we can all picture. Imagine a super busy restaurant, okay? It's the middle of the dinner rush, but the cashiers and the kitchen never talk to each other. Total chaos, right? Orders would be wrong, food would get cold, a complete disaster. Well, believe it or not, something a lot like that happens in huge manufacturing companies. You've got this massive disconnect between two really critical parts of the business: the office, where all the big plans are made, and the factory floor, where things are actually getting built. And this gap creates what you could call an information abyss. Seriously, on one side, you have the business planners using these big systems like SAP or an ERP. Think of that as the software that handles all the orders and inventory. They know what to make, but they often have zero clue what's happening on the factory floor in real time. And on the other side, you've got the machines and the operators. They know how to make the stuff, but they might be working off old information or schedules. It's a huge problem. So, the big question is, how do you bridge that gap? How do you get everyone on the same page? Well, that is exactly what a manufacturing execution system, or MES for short, is built to do. It's the digital bridge that spans that information abyss. Let's go back to our restaurant for a second. The business system, the ERP, that's the cashier, taking the customer's order. The machines on the factory floor, that's the kitchen, preparing the food. And the MES? The MES is the waiter. It's the crucial link running back and forth, making sure the kitchen gets the order right and telling the front of the house exactly what's been made. It connects everything. Okay, so here's the more official take on it. A manufacturing execution system, or MES, is basically the brain of the factory floor. It connects that high-level business strategy with the nuts and bolts automation on the ground. The key here is that it's a two-way street. Information flows constantly. It takes the business goals and turns them into commands for the machines, and then it takes all the data from those machines and turns it back into useful insights for the business. It's a game changer. So you might be wondering, how does it actually do all this? What kind of tools does this digital waiter have in its toolkit? Well, let's break down some of its core functions. You could even call them its superpowers. Okay, superpower number one, managing the entire life of a production order. So it starts by getting the order from the main business system. Then, an operator on the floor assigns that order to a specific production line. From that moment on, the MES is tracking everything in real time, counting every single item that comes off the line. And when the job is done, it sends all the final results right back to the business system. The loop is closed. Nothing falls through the cracks. Now, this next part is really cool. It's how the system makes waste intelligent. I mean, think about it. Most places just have a big pile of scrap at the end of the day. But in MES, it tracks and categorizes every single gram of material that doesn't end up in the final product. You've got vardaduda, or sweepings from cleaning, purga, the stuff you purge at the beginning of a run, material kicked out by a metal detector, even stuff discarded during quality checks. It's all tracked. And why is that so important? Because now the factory knows exactly where it's bleeding money and resources. Okay, so the MES is collecting all this insane amount of data, right? It's tracking every product, every bit of waste, every second of downtime. But with all that information flying around, how can you look at a factory and just tell if it's doing a good job? How do you get a quick snapshot of its health? Well, that's where we get to one of the most powerful metrics in the entire industry. It's called OEE. That stands for Overall Equipment Effectiveness. The best way to think about it is like a report card grade for a production line. It takes three really important factors and boils them all down into a single percentage, one number that tells you how healthy your operation really is. The first piece of the puzzle is availability, and it's a really simple question. Was the machine running when it was supposed to be running? Every time there's an unplanned stop, for whatever reason, that number goes down. Next up, we have performance. This one's all about speed. The question here is, okay, when the machine was running, was it going as fast as it possibly could? Or was it running a little slow? Any reduction from its top theoretical speed hurts your performance score. And the third and final piece is quality. This is pretty straightforward. Of everything you made, how many of those items were perfect? How many didn't have any defects and didn't need to be scrapped or reworked? That's your quality score. So to get that final OEE score, that single report card grade, You just multiply these three things together. It's availability times performance times quality. Simple as that. And here's why this is so brilliant. Because they're all multiplied. A weakness in just one of those areas will drag your whole score down. It's a multiplier effect. I mean, look at this example. You could have 90% availability and an amazing 99% quality. Those numbers look fantastic. But if your performance is only chugging along at 70%, that one bad number tanks your overall OEE down to just 62.4%. There's nowhere to hide. And that's what makes OEE so powerful. It's not just a bad number, it's a diagnosis. It doesn't just tell you that you have a problem, it tells you where to start looking for the solution. If availability is low, you know you need to talk to the maintenance team. If performance is lagging, it's an operations issue. And if quality is in the gutter, well, you know to look at your quality control and raw materials. So let's zoom out for a second. What's the big picture? When you put all of this together, the order tracking, the intelligent loss management, the real-time OEE scores, what does a connected system like this actually do for a business? What's the real value? Well, by acting as the factory's digital brain, an MES really delivers on three key things. First, you get total visibility. It completely eliminates the guesswork. It's like going from flying blind to having a real-time dashboard for your entire production floor. Second, you get a huge boost in efficiency. I mean, the old saying is true, you can't improve what you don't measure. And finally, you get true integration and traceability. It creates one single source of truth, so you can track every single product from the initial order all the way to the final box. And that really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. In a world that's getting more digital and more competitive by the day, the biggest risk you face isn't just being inefficient. It's the problems you don't even know you have, the opportunities you're missing, all because you can't see what's really happening. So the question is, what opportunities are your operations losing right now without a truly connected view of production?